Hello and welcome back to episode 8 of the Tips and Tricks series. In today's video we'll be working on throttle control and how to drift a MotoGP bike to make a turn. Now I know there's been a small few weeks between the last episode of Tips and Tricks. I do apologise. Hopefully I'll have this one up today, and maybe by the end of this week I will have another one up. I have my next one planned already. Just need to kind of get the video sorted. But in this one we'll have 3 laps. I'll have them slow down so I can commentate over them and I can point out some smaller details. Lap 1 will be Rossi at Ret. Lap 2 will be Marc Marquez at Sachsenring. And lap 3 will be Jack Miller at Catalunya. So let's jump in. So you can see I have my throttle input on screen there. That just shows you what you'll be looking at for the lap. I also have my controller overlay. So I'm running traction 2 just so the rear end is a bit more lively, just so I can point out a few more instances. So you see I bring throttle input to about 50% straight away. I instantly go to 50%. Then I quickly after that go to about 75%. So you'll see here 50 and then 75%, then I hold it. And in this clip here and all the clips I'm running a software just to give me best performance. So you see in these long corners here, I don't want the bike to run wide, so I'm at 50-60% throttle the whole time. The art of it is you want it to spin to turn the bike, but if it grips, it will send the bike wide. So here's another great example. So you see now, just picking up the throttle about 40-50, and then just as I'm starting to power out where I can drift it wide, I bring it up to 70-80% and then eventually to 100%. In tight corners up ahead here, you'll see I'll use a very aggressive tactic while on soft tyres. This is great for a qualifying lap, but I wouldn't do this in a race. You'll see here, have the bike stop, pick up the throttle, and then aggressively turn the bike with the rear. So I'll go from maybe 30% to about 90% in a very short successive period, just to get the bike to turn. You see here through these long corners, going up to 50%, that area really fast, and then kind of staying around there just to get the rear to turn a slight bit. So here again, there we are, about 60% that time, and then I slowly put on the extra power. You need to remember these bikes have nearly 300 brake horsepower, and you need to be able to manage these. A throttle isn't an on and off button. It can't be on off. If you watch any of my videos that you can see my heads up display, you will see what way I use the throttle and what way I use it to manage tires. So again, coming through these corners here, going to about 40-50% throttle, just to any more than that, and what will happen is the bike will drift wide and will push the front, and that means you'll blow the corner and you won't make the line. So you need to manage how much, and it all comes down to what traction, what rear tyre, what weather conditions. But you see again, coming out of that last corner, I went to about 75% and then right up to full power just to steer the bike out with the rear end. So you see now as we come into the last corner, Marquez, watch out now as I pick the bike up aggressively. See the rear end pivots around and I spin it, so I go to full throttle just straight away because I have the bike sat up. You'll see throughout these clips I pick the bike up, and when I'm getting to full standing up of the bike is when I go to full acceleration, full throttle. So as we come into turn 1 here in Sachsenring, you'll see just about now I go to about 50% and then up to full power not long afterwards. You need to give your rear tyre just a little bit of time to adjust, to just get some feel and a bit of traction before you give it all the power. If you, like I said in the previous clip, if you're on and off, you'll just cause too much spin, you'll overheat it, you'll wear your tyre. Now this sector here now will be very interesting to watch. You'll see I'm only about 30% throttle, just making sure the bike isn't turning in anymore. The more throttle you give the bike, the bike will stay on a wider trajectory, so it won't turn as much. You can see now I'm just kind of on and off the throttle, not actually braking. I'm making the bike turn in with the throttle, drifting it all around there, just out to the curb. You see now again here on the brakes, tipping in, and I'll pick the throttle up quite aggressively to push the bike out wide and pick up speed. But as we come in here, I know I'm going to have to drop off. So you can see just small tiny bits of acceleration to make the bike just go wide, so just so I can make the line happen. You see down through the waterfall, again, the more throttle I have, the more I run wide, so you have to drop throttle so you won't push as wide. And again through here now, you'll see I will spin up the rear a lot to get the bike turned. So just there, go to quite an aggressive 50 and then 70 we'll say again, just picking up quite aggressive just to get the rear to come round, just so you can kind of point the bike in the direction you want. Again there now, just spinning up the rear to get the bike turned and up to the finish line. Now this last stop here at Catalunya with Jack Miller on the Ducati, you'll see a lot longer corners where I'll kind of hold the bike on the edge of the tyre and spin it primarily just to turn the bike. So you see coming down here, you won't see much here. You'll see me in between changing direction. I'll go a lot of throttle just to get the bike over. I'll use it as a way of changing direction. You'll see here again, dropping a small bit and then throwing the bike in. Now you can see here I'm at about 30% throttle just to get the bike to go around the corner. I'm just drifting it now, starting to pick up the power, and now I'm going full power because I want the bike to slide out of turn 3 and put the power down. Coming into turn 4 here, I go wide so I can bring it back and drift around the second part of this corner. So you see here now for 50, 60, I'm slowly putting on the power. It's the exact same in real life. If you drive a car or ride a bike, you don't just stomp on it, you modulate it, you slowly put on the power. It's exactly the same in the game. That's the best way to get results. You don't go 0 to 100, you go 0 to 50 to 90, then to 100, and that's how a bike will favour your tyres, and you'll do all sorts, as you'll see in the clips here. So again now here I want the bike to slide because I want to turn the rear, so I give it a bit more throttle, a bit more acceleration. Now through turn 9 here we want to drift it to get the bike to turn, so we go to 50 and then we start to pick up the slide as we come out. It's a very strategic way of getting the bike to turn using the rear end. Now big stoppy down into turn 10. Now corners like this here you'll want to short shift, and what I mean by this, you would see here I'm on the edge of the tyre, the bike starts to pump because it's on the, I'm so leaned over, I have too much power to the rear. So by short shifting you basically have less revs, which means you have less peak power and your tyre will thank you for it. Again, corners like this you're just maintaining a steady throttle so your bike will continue along a normal axis of rotation and along the trajectory. And as I come into last corner, you see now the last corner I roll off, pick up the throttle just so the bike starts to drift, and there we go, we power it out. So that has been today's video. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have any questions on anything I did in today's video, of course I advise to watch it back a couple of times just so you can watch my throttle trajectory, my controller inputs at the same time to see exactly how I do it. But yeah, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comments below. I hope to have the next one out. The next one will be on rain, how to ride in the rain. Looking forward to that one, and I shall see you in the next video. Take care.